Yeah, yesterday we have seen the data source page.
Shashi, before we start the session,
Yeah,
I have some suggestion,
yeah,
what I think the whole idea of this course is that we'll be working on an actual project, right?
yeah.
And the thing is, the way I'm learning, I don't know how about the other students, that I think you're going too fast, at least to me, right?
Oh,
Because like I told Ajay, that I don't have any prior computer knowledge.
oh, okay,
I
okay.
mean, I understand some, and number two, Ajay, uh, I mean, whole idea is that we hopefully be working on a project, and on the project, I don't want to bother you or anyone else too much. Okay,
Okay.
I can bother you, but not too much. And in this way, so why not we have a little test or Viva, any kind of test, at the end of each week. There's a real thing, uh, that whatever we read, and we have 5 sessions. So what we learn in 4 sessions, and fifth session, half of that you can teach us, and half of that session you can add something, so feedback or any Vivas.
Sure.
And last thing, you asked the first day that you want to have class Monday to Friday according to your time. I think in India, so that will be your Monday and our Sunday. So I think I spoke to Saeed and Talal. He's okay with us if you do class, I mean, Monday to Friday Indian time.
Okay.
That's all.
Yeah, fine. Sure, sure, Tala.
Okay, Shashi, thank you.
Monday
That's
to
all I have to
Friday
say.
Indian time means your Sunday to Thursday, right?
Yes, Sunday to Thursday. Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
fine, fine.
Thank you, Shashi.
So, Hena, you have any concerns in that? You are fine with that, right?
I'm fine with what?
Okay, thank you. Yes, so we'll start. So yesterday we have started this data source. So the data source is the one where we extract the data set. So either connecting to the any of the database. So either single
I'm sorry, Shashi. You mean there'll be a class on Sunday?
means Sunday your evening, night, 9:30.
Okay. Okay.
Morning to Friday my morning means your Thursday evening. So there will not be any class on Friday and Saturday. But if you have any,
Got it.
you can ping me so that I can take a separate session for you on Friday.
Okay.
Yeah. So the data source. So the data source of any kind, any database, or one database or two database, only we are relevant with we are concerned with the data set, whatever we are receiving. So we are not worried from which data source we are getting the data set. Because from the history data we are going to we are going to prepare the analysis. So that is what our objective concern. But only option is whether I can able to connect to that data source, to the database or not. So for that we have seen we have several options available to connect to n number of databases and every versions. So they keep updating themselves. Even last 10.1 also. So they provided the connections to Google Sheets and Ab initio. So all those databases. So now in 10.2 also they are going to provide some more options. So that is not the problem from our end. And what we are going to do with the data? Sometimes, so we say we are a robust ETL as well. So ETL, what it does, not the complete operation, what the ETL could able to do that. Yeah, portions, whatever the possible from a BA perspective. So we can able to do that. So cleansing, for example, I wanted to rename my field, that is a field name, or else I wanted to split my field into the multiple columns. So either based on some special characters, or even if I don't have any special characters in it, so with a single white space, can I able to split that? So these are all the options I will try to find out. Suppose for example, so I have a employee name. So now that, yeah, so that is ETL means it is a tool. So it is a extract, E for extract, T for transform, and L for load. So normally So if they are not allowing you to connect directly to the transactional production database, so normally the pioneers we used to connect only to the reporting database, because the reporting database is meant for BA reports, because we are not disturbing the transaction DB at any for any reasons. So for that scenarios, I have two database server. One is a production database and the other one is a reporting database. This reporting database is also called as data warehousing. And this data warehousing is a very huge, because very huge in the sense a large ERP solutions is running. So I have several modules there: sales module, accounts receivable, purchase, accounts payable, and I have sub-ledger, general ledger, and I have assets management, and I have HRMS, payroll, personal. All those modules put together, it's a huge model, large model, data warehousing. Now I am concerned with a specific uh, vertical, means vertical domain module. For example, sales. So I will be related only with the sales and accounts receivable. What else? What are all the items sold, and how much the payment received for the invoices. So these are all concerned with the sales and accounts receivable. So only these related one I wanted to prepare some reports. Then these specific modules are called as data mart. So the complete ocean is called as your data warehousing, and you are very keen with specific modules, then each and every module you can split it as a data mart. Right? So now there is a new term called a data lake. You should not confuse with that. Data lake is related with the big data. It is not related with your warehousing concepts. In warehousing, you will have data warehousing and data mart. If you see anywhere else data lake, that is a big data term. Okay. So now this production and I have a reporting. So how frequently this refresh happen? That question will come. Will it happen every day? Will it happen weekly once? Will it happen 15 days once? Or will it happen 1 month once? So that again depends upon the volume of the record and the criticality of your significance of your record, and based on the client expectation. Some may happen weekly once, some may happen monthly once. So it depends. If it is a millions of record, then weekly once is not required. So they will do monthly ones. End of the month they will schedule and they do a extract from the production database and load it in your reporting database. This is ENL. Transform. I wanted to cleanse something, right? So I wanted to apply some transformations. So transformations means what? It is objects, individual objects. Suppose I see a term called odonal, O apostrophe donal. I want to remove this apostrophe. I wanted to go with O donal. So that is a kind of transformation. Or I wanted to go with this address. So sometimes they write the phone numbers with 1403-993-6657. So that I need to put it the first 4 term I need to put it in a bracket. Like this, different formats you wanted. So these are all the types of transformations. So those transformations I apply in my data and get the output based on the transformations. So I extract the data. If needed some transformation I apply and I load it in the reporting database. This is what your ETL tool does. So we have several ETL tools we have, like Informatica, data staging, Pentaho. So like the different ETL tools are there. But so if suppose in my client I don't have ETL tool, so some sort of transformations my Tableau can able to do. Suppose for example I have an employee name, but I wanted to display that as a last name comma first name. Right, last name comma first name I wanted to display. So now I have only one field which is called as employee name. Then how I can display that as last name comma first name? So one field I have to split it into 2 fields. Like employee name, suppose Sasi Kumar. So but it is there stored in my table as Sasi Kumar. So but in my dashboard I need to display as Kumar comma Sasi. Last name and put a comma and Sasi I wanted to display. So then how I will do that? Because I didn't find any data. So unless otherwise if I go my split my employee name into 2, Sasi and Kumar, and name it as first name for Sasi and last name for Kumar, then I give as Kumar comma Sasi, last name comma first name. That is the way I can able to display. So this normally your transformations will do, ETL will do. So these are all, I don't want to be dependent on ETL tools. This I can do on myself. So that is what your split. So whenever you see here, so there is a split and custom split. That also it is not available for your numbers. Number whole, number decimal, you cannot split. So it is available only for the string. If you go here number, you see, I didn't see any split here. If I go to this date, so you see here there is no split. If I go to the boolean, there will not be any split. It is of no reason. So splitting the boolean true and false will not make sense. And date also, what I am going to display, what I am going to split. Because to splitting, suppose you can ask me, Sashi, you can split it as a year, month and date. You can do that, but we do have separate date functions we have. Using that we will display. So that is not a problem. Here in a string only we will be splitting. So string, so then splitting, okay, we decided, and only for the data types string we can split. So rest all 5 data types we cannot able to split. Means number, decimal and whole, and a date, date time, and your boolean. So all these 5 data types we cannot split. Only the string we can split. That also we have 2 options: split, custom split. What is this? So split we decided. So split means it will not ask you any questions. It will go and split. So how much space it has or how many special characters it has, accordingly that many number of fields it will split. Right? So for example, this order ID, it is CA-2013-152156. Maybe in that application, so the number, order number for your order is in this format. Maybe probably the CA meant for your country, Canada, US, and the 2013 meant for the order year, and the last option is your sequence number. Now I am not concerned with my year or my country. I want to go only with my sequence number. So then I'll go split. Just click on split. So if you split, automatically the order ID is split it into split 1, split 2, split 3. Because I give split. So it split into based on your special character. CA, this is the first field, and 2013 it's the second field, and 152156 which is the third field. It's split based on your special character hyphen. Right? So now when I go here, so this is one option. Now customer name. So this I go split. So this split it into Claire and gift. So it means here there is no special character. So then how it split? So Claire and one empty space we have, single space. So it split this way. So now you see here, Darren, Van, how we lost it? Because the majority is only 2 columns. So for if I am splitting for the next column, for Claire group it would be null. So that's why it avoided it. And Darren, Van, it is there. And you see here, seen O'Donnell. So this is the one I was saying, O apostrophe Donnell. If that is the case, in ETL if you are giving, so this will, in ETL we have a separate transformation for that. So suppose if I wanted to do here, so either I can use some functions within my tablet. So otherwise the splitting, it will split either based on your special characters or based on your empty singular 2 spaces. It will split. And also here one split, so the original name hyphen split 1, split 2, split 3 will be there. If you wanted to rename, just go double click on this and you can rename. So for example, this should be your order country, or this should be your order year, and this should be your order number. You can name it. And automatically you can see here, so this is a string. When it's split, you see automatically this is a string and this is your number and this is your number. So as I told you in the yesterday class, you don't want to name, you don't want to assign any data type for your field in your Tableau.
So Shashi, we can split customer ID as well, right?
Customer ID, yeah, we can split, yes. Because CG,
because it's a string.
Yes, we can split.
Okay.
So if the customer ID is a string, you can split. So here you have it. So you can go here and split. Automatically that will split. Split 1 and split 2. So CG hyphen 12520. So based on it, it's split. Right. So yesterday, which I told you, so the data type. So whether are we going to assign it, because whenever you create a script normally, so parallelly I am taking the SQL also. So suppose when you are creating a table, so what you will do, the table is a placeholder for your data, structured data. So the table contains what? Fields. So now for example I want an employee table. So in this employee table what all the fields should be there. So that I can decide. I can give an employee ID and I can give an employee name and I can give a date of joining and I can give the designation code and I can give the department code. So these are all the fields I provided in the employee table. Now the next step, how many columns, how many fields to be there in my table I can decide. And what is that data type? Because based on the data type, it will allocate the memory for that particular table, right? So now employee code, it will be in number. So I will give us number, integer. So now next one, employee name, it is a string. So varchar 2. So probably how much space I can give, 50 or 60. More than that, a name may not be. And date of joining, it is a date, right? Date. So like this, employee code, it is number code. So you will be giving a number, right? Integer. So if it is a decimal, you will give number 10, 2 means dot 00. So this is the way in your SQL databases you will provide the data type, because for allocation of the memory for that particular field of the tables. But here we are not worried about the data type. But here we have data type. That data type is decided based on the value in that particular field. So now the same field, order ID, CA-2013-152-156, this is the alphanumeric. So it decides on seeing the value and provides you as a string. When I split, so CA obviously it is a string and 2013 this is a number whole and this is a number whole. So automatically it becomes. See now once I split this string into country and order year and your order number, automatically on seeing the value of this, it assigns this as a number. And this automatically it is a string. So these things you need to notice, because we need to understand what is the architecture here in Tableau, right? So that's why I am explaining this. So what are all options available if it is of string? What are all the options if it is of number? So that we should be very keen in that. Suppose if I have a number in my data set, I can create a bin. The bin will be available only for number, because bin is a SQL bucket, because I can put a range. So I cannot put a range for Syed and Dalal. So I cannot put range. What is there in that range? Nothing is there. But I can put a range for the number. Suppose I have an marks. So 0 to 100. So 0 to 45 I can put one range. And 45 to 59 I can put a range. And 60 to 75 I can put a range. And 75 and above I can put a range. So there is some sense for that, because that data range having some sense for it. Because 0 to 45 if you take, it is a fail. And 45 to 59 it's a second class, and 60 and 75 it's a first class, 75 and above it's a distinction. So there is a meaning. So if you are having a bin, so then that you can apply only for your number, either it is a whole or it is a integer. And similarly when it goes to the split, so number what I am going to split, 100.55 should I split as 155 fields? No, I am not going to. Or 100 I am going to split into 50 or 45? No. But the name, the string, I can split it. So either if it is a two strings which is being associated by a special character, or which is being associated by a single space, two space, whatever it may be. So I can split it. There may be some reason for it. That's why they have an option of split, custom split only for your string data type, and bins only for your number, decimal and float. So this you should remember. So now what is the difference of having the custom split? So now sometimes you may be thinking, I don't want to split completely. Now you are not given an option to, suppose your requirement is, I wanted only the order sequence number. I don't want this order country and I don't want the order year. I want only the order sequence number, but it is not allowing me. So when I click on split, it's split it into 3. So I don't want that. So if that is the scenarios, so you can, so should I create and then go here and delete? So it is a duplicate work, right? So I created, now I am deleting. I wanted only order number. So first I split this, it split it into 3. So now what I do, the rest do I delete. So this is a duplication, right? It's a rework. So why I want that? Why I want that? So that scenario, go here, custom split, it asks you. So do you have any separator? If yes, what is the separator? Hyphen. So what do you want? First one column or first two columns or last one column or all the columns. So now I say last one column. So if you click this, automatically the last one column will be split. So that is the use of your custom split. So now here one more option is there. When you are going for a custom split, here I see the special characters. Either it is by comma or it is by hyphen or it is a semicolon or it's a colon or it's a dot. So where you have a space. So there is no space, right? So now for example, this class I wanted to split. So then I go here and say that, so the first one. So if I give, so it will not split because there is no special characters and I didn't give that. So what I will do if I don't have special characters, don't worry. So give empty space and click on this. So automatically it split the first one. So if there is no special characters, no need to worry. Just there is a space, single space is there. Click that space, automatically that would be split. So this is the difference of your split and custom split. Right. So now, as I told you, the employee name, there is no first name, last name, but in my dashboard I wanted to display as a last name, comma first name. Sashi, you are splitting it, fine. Using custom split or split, I splitted it. So now how you will show that as last name, comma first name? So that we will see in the data views. When we are preparing the dashboard, in the presentation, we have data views, designing the data views. So there we have several options are there. In that, there is how we are splitting the field. There is an option to combine fielders. So there is an option to create a combined field. So that option, using that option, we can transform this to last name, comma first name. That we'll see later. So in your data source, yesterday what I told you that, so you will be connecting to the database and bring your data. So that data would be there in any of the 6 data types. And along with that, we know that on seeing the names, if it says either city, country, region, state, county, zip code, postal codes, if it sees any of your field of your data set in this particular names, so though it may be by default string or number code, internally it is mapped to geo-coded fields because of some reason. On seeing the icon, you can very clearly understand, you can see a globe. And also I told you that out of my 6 data types, all the 5 data types will be moved to dimension and only one data type, which is a number decimal, which will be moved to the measure. So that is taken care by the data interpreter of Tableau. It knows. And also I told you that all your dimensions will be blue in color and your measures green in color. It is not only because of dimension and measures, it is also because of discrete and continuous. But 99% all your dimensions are discrete and all your measures are continuous. Discrete, why? What is the meaning of discrete? It is a quantitative. And what is the meaning of your continuous? It is a qualitative and it is continuous. So for example, if in the range of 0 to 100 numbers, so I may be having 0.5, I may be having 100.75, I may be having 71.11, 71.12, so it is continuous. 0 to 100, that trend will be continuous. But if I take a name, so I cannot say Syed and SYE and SY and yes, no. Syed, Dalal and Sana and Hina means if 5 names are there, only 5 names. For if I give student name, so only 5 names will be there. That name, it is qualitative. It is a discrete values. It is not continuous. Okay, so on seeing that nature, attitude of that particular field, it is distinguished into discrete and continuous and dimension and the measures. But why I say 99%? Because I have an option, but I can convert the discrete to continuous and continuous to discrete. That time it may be, it is always a measure. If I am converting a continuous to discrete, so you may be thinking that the measure will become dimension. No, measure will be always measure. But if you want, you can convert. But when you are converting from continuous to discrete, still it will be a measure. But my color will change. What color? By default, your measure is continuous, it is green in color. When I change this continuous to discrete, the color will change from green to blue. So that time you cannot argue, oh, you are saying that measure is blue, green. No. So that's why I say 99%. By default, its behavior is that dimension is always discrete and measure is always continuous. So dimension you can see blue color and continuous measure you can see green color. But there are some scenarios you are forced to do the changes. So that time the color will change. Okay, so this is the thing we have seen, and then we have seen how to rename. So rename the field. Now I am splitting this. So this I wanted to rename, or I wanted to copy. So from here to somewhere. So copy this. Hide. Hide is a column level reduction. Basically the data reduction of your data set, because it is a inline memory reporting tool. The each and so several factors are our objectives. One is I am bringing the data set. So that data set, it is occupying this much memory. So when your data grows, so your concern is to have the memory as much as you can reduce your size of your data because it is placed in the memory. Okay, so that is your primary objective. Then from the visualization perspective, what are all the possibilities I can able to do? So that is the next for when you are getting into the chart design. So here, whatever the possibilities you can do. So now a column is there. So that column is not at all used in my. So why unnecessarily I wanted to keep it in my memory? So I can hide it. When there is a requirement, that time I can unhide and use it. So this is a column level reduction. And the split and custom split we have seen. And suppose there is and one more we have alias. Alias basically you should not confuse with your SQL scripts. In SQL scripts what you will say normally when you are writing. So a SQL query. So suppose I write a select. So select. So customer. So name. Right. And cust ID. And some address. So from customer. So this is my customer table. So now this one I wanted to create a alias name as, so I say cust name. So because it is, so every time I wanted to refer this as a custom space name. So instead let me have this as a cust name. So it is handy for me in using in my scripts and provided in any of my application. So this is a alias. So you are giving a name for it. But here this is for a column, means your field. But here there is a alias is there. So what is this alias means? It is your dimension members name you are giving. Suppose for example I have a ship mode. So here there is a alias, right? And if you go for a customer, so here there is an alias. So now for example the shipper mode, if I click on this alias, so the ship mode is a dimension because it is a string. So when I go here, what is the distinct member of your dimension? I have only 4 values. So what is that? First class, same day, second class and standard class. These are all the 4 values for your field ship mode. So now I wanted to, so normally when you are working with a string, so you should give some shortcut names because when it is frequently used, because it will help you for a faster search. So then I go here, instead of first class I give it as FC, and instead of same day I give it as SD, and instead of this second class I give as SC, and instead of this standard class I give this as ST. So automatically the has alias, so this will become a star if you are applying alias. It is not mandatory you need to give alias for all the members. You can give for 1 or 2 also, it's not a problem. So once you have it, you can say it is showing with the alias name. So now I don't want to show this, so it will show your original name. I want to see the alias name. So if you click on this, automatically your alias name will be shown. Okay, so now if you wanted to clear your alias name, go here and clear. So it will clear your alias name. So alias name here you should not confuse. In your SQL term it's a field name. Here in the Tableau term it is a field member name. Field, that field may be your dimension, that dimensions distinct members, that names you can provide. Right, suppose for example there is a customer whose name is of somewhere around 100 100 character length. So I cannot place it in my dashboard. So I can create a alias name for that, right? And one sales rep name is there, so that is around 70-80, but everyone's will be 40 to 50. So I cannot accommodate this. Some of my right side of the string will lose. So better I will reduce that name using a alias. So the member of your feed is a alias here. Okay, and next one is your filters. So as I told you, hide is your column level reduction and filter is your row level reduction. So now you connected. So now you connected to the database and you extract the data set for you. But for some reason, so I wanted to have only limited records. But the same data set will be used in my other dashboards completely. Maybe for some other scenario. For example, in my dashboard, I have 6 dashboards to be developed. So in that 3 dashboard, I am using only one data source. The OG's transaction table, I am using it. So it is a huge volume record, around 500 million record it will be there. So around 50 crores a record is there in that particular table. So now one dashboard is the stop loss treaty review. So in that dashboard, the business analyst says, Sashi, in this table is same, but we need to take only level A data and we need to take only the corporate local view indicators should be local and we need to take only for this treaty number 101824. So this is a business logic. So but the same data set I will be using completely in another dashboard. And in another dashboard, I will be using only level A and local data. So the data set is same, but in 3 different dashboards, I am using 3 different filter conditions. Right? One I am using plain blank, complete data set because that needs a detailed view of dashboard. And the another one, I only handle the treaty numbers from the data set. So that also only my level A data and the local view indicator, not the corporate view indicator. The other one, I will not be using treaty number, only the level A data and the local view indicator. So the data set is one, my data source is one and data set is one, the table is also one. I am taking the data also one, but I need to apply filter. So though that data volume is 500 million and it comes around 5 GB of my memory. So but if I am going only with one treaty number, it becomes 10 MB. Same 5 GB data, if I take only for level A and local view indicator and for only treaty number of 101824, then it becomes 5 GB to 10 GB. 5 MB to 10 MB only. So my dashboard is only required that much space. Why unnecessarily I need to occupy 5 GB record? Anyway, if I put that filter internally in my visualization also will show that. I am not denying. I can put a filter in my filter shelves. But by my work is my analysis only in that, why I need to keep 5 GB record in my dashboard? So 3 into 5 GBs will occupy 15 GB of my Tableau server, right? Why unnecessarily? So I will apply a data source filter here in the data set. So I go click this. So it will show one small window, edit data source filters. If I click on this, it will show whatever the fields are there in your table. So whatever the data set you brought here, in that what all the fields are there, that field will be shown. Now for example, I take this category, click on this. So that category field, what is the distinct value? It will be shown here, furniture, office supplies and technology. Now my work is analysis is towards my furniture and technology. Select this. So only that will be there. So this I am excluding office supplies. So click. So now it says my category field which keeps furniture and technology. So my data set will be confined now. So earlier the filter is 0 and there is an add button was there. When there is one filter applied, it becomes 1 and edit. So you can add more also. Now another one. I go here and I take subcategory. So here I say that 17 values are there. How I say 17 on seeing this? You can see here. Selected 0 of 17. I want to select everything. So click on all. So now in this I wanted to remove accessories. Okay, remove this. So it becomes selected 16 of 17 values. I remove envelopes. So it becomes selected 15 of 17 values. So I apply. So subcategory excludes because because total 17. Instead of keeps 15 values, it says excludes. Excludes, both are same. Excludes accessories and envelopes and keeps 15 values is one and the same. So I apply 2. So here you see 1 is there. If I click OK, this becomes 2. So you can add number of filters. So when you go for order of operations of your dashboard,
Hey, Shashi.
yeah,
When we applied that filter on the row side, did that reduce the data size? And how could you see that where the reduction of data?
yeah, that's what I was saying. See, when your order of operations, you see there is a extract filter and a data source filter, which takes the precedence of your order of operation. Whenever you go for, suppose in mathematics, normally what we'll say, suppose 100 into, and I say 50 minus of 25. So what it will do first? So it will go, it will take this first and it will make this as 25 and it comes out and into this 100. So it will give you that 2500. But in this order of which one it will take first, which is in the bracket it will take first, and then that resultant it will be multiplying with the 100. So like this, every application it has its order of operations is there. So in this, the foremost is your extract filters. The next one is your data source filter. Why? Because, so Syed's question also will answer here. So now I applied a filter. Suppose for example I got 1000 rows. Now I applied this. So now my 1000 row becomes 600 rows. And another filter I apply. The 600 rows will become 500 rows. Right? So then when you create an extract for this, so when I create an extract for this, you can see this, the filter is there. The filter is here. So for that extract, this filter is applied. So whatever the rows, 600 rows from my original 1000 rows, I applied this filter, it becomes 600 rows. Obviously, you are creating an extract for only that 600 rows, not for the 1000 rows. So your size, obviously it comes to a, so if I am not having any filters here, still if I create an extract for this, it will reduce 80% of your original size. If I am not applying anything, any filters, if I am not applying, you are giving me a 1000 row data set, that size is 10 MB. So if I am creating an extract for that, automatically the size from 10 MB, it will come down to 2 MB. Right? So that is the power of your extraction. Means that is that name as TDE, Tableau Data Extract. Now in addition, already it is reducing my 80%. If I apply a filter on top of that, it will reduce the size further. Right? It will be reduced to from 2 MB to 1.6 or 1.7 or 1.5 MB. Okay. So obviously your size of your data will be reduced. Right? So there it is a data source filter. Now if you want or don't want, you can decide. So you see here this filter is optional. So either you can delete or here also you can add. Suppose I say that country, so I take only United States. So then here I was having in my data source filter. So now if I extract, so this 3 will be included. Right? So if this 3 is included, this filter is called as extract filters and outside that is called as your data source filters. That is what you are seeing here. Extract filters and data source filter. The filter you are applying at the data source page, that is called as data source filter, and when you create an extract, you can keep that optional or you can add a filter more. So that filter, additional filter, is called as extract filters. So which one will be given importance? The extract filters first and then it will give an importance to the data source filter. So how it will happen? First it will filter for your United States and then it comes to the category and it filters for furniture and technology, and then it comes to the subcategory and excludes your accessories and your another value. So the precedence will change. If you have your data source filter and no extract filter, then the priority is given to the data source filter. If you add an extract filter, it will give the preference to the extract filter first and then comes to the data source filter. So this is all. So this answers your question, Sayed?
Yes, thank you.
Yeah, so this is the way how you can create your data source filter. Fine. The next one is connection. So you can see here live and extract. So the live means nothing but, so you are connecting to your original data. So whether it is you are connecting to the database and the table, or you have your file located in your repository, either in your hard disk or you are accessing it from the shared drive. So wherever it is, so you are connecting directly to the source file. So then whether it is a database or it is an external file located in respective any of your paths, so then that is called as live. For that data set, if you create an extract, so then automatically it will be turned from online to offline. Offline means what? Whatever the data set you have, you convert that into the extract. Not only you are converting into the extract, it is pushing that extract data into the memory. So now it becomes offline and you are always connecting to your extract which is placed in your memory. That is the meaning of this. If you see here live, then you can understand that okay, it is connected to the file which is placed or it is connected directly to the database. So it is providing you two options. One, you wanted, you can connect live, or you don't wanted, you can connect offline to the extract which is placed in your memory. So both the options are allowed. And you don't want to change, automatically it will change. When you create an extract, automatically this will be changed from live to extract, and it says it was last refreshed by this time and the further refresh will be continuing. So suppose for example the extract is there, so now it is having the moment when you prepare the extract, that time what was the data in your data set, that data will be there in your memory. Then you will ask me another question, Sashi, then how I will refresh? So it was there. Now today you are seeing the data till yesterday. Now there is a task I am scheduled for today evening after your business hour. So tomorrow morning when you come to office, so automatically the extract will be refreshed. That extract is pointing to till end of the day, yesterday, whatever the transactions were there in the particular data set, it will be available. That extract refresh you can give again, depends upon the client requirement. If the client says no, we need to go for every 4 hours, you can do that. Or once in a day after the business hours, so next day morning I should see the previous day complete records. Fine. So you can do that. So that again depends upon the client expectation that you can schedule. Suppose if it is a millions of transaction, you yourself can suggest the client no. Suppose if client says in my post lunch session, can you refresh and give it to me? So if it is less than 30 minutes, you can say no, you can say yes, not a problem. If it is taking a hour or 2 hours, then it is of no use. If he goes for lunch 12:30, if he comes back by 1:30, it will not be ready. It will be ready only by 3 o'clock. So in that scenario, you can explain him. So this is a scenario. It's a million record of transaction because banking, insurance and all, 4 hours, 1 day transaction, 1 month itself, it is a 500 million transaction means you calculate for a day. So at least a day it would be a 10 million transaction, right? 10 to 15 million transaction for a day. So if it is a 4-hour session, how many millions records will be there? So 5 million record will take 20-25 minutes of refreshing. Then you can say, politely you can say that this is the scenario. If you're fine, let us go with that. If he is agreeing, then fine. Otherwise, you can go with the end of the day, refresh after business hours, either 9 o'clock or in the early morning 4 o'clock, you can do that. Okay, so this is what with this data source. Now the next question. So I showed only one table. Can I have multiple tables in my data model? So here I will introduce one option called schema. So it is in normally how I told. In a database you see your tables into two types. One is fact, the other one is a dimension. Fact is a transaction table and dimension is your master table, and always you should have 1 or 2 facts in your model, not more than that is recommended. It is not that it will not allow, it will allow, but it is not recommended. So you can have n number of dimensions. That is not a problem. And after the table in your field, you see that your field has dimension and measures. That I explained. So now the next one is schema. There are two types of schema we have. One is a star schema, the other one is a snowflake schema. What is the star schema and snowflake schema? Because this is the best model of your dimensional modeling. If the schema, if you could able to arrive, so then your data would be perfect. That is what the expectation. So star schema means normally, so you have a fact. So you have one fact table. So this fact table, for example, I have employee code, and I have employee name, and I have date of joining, and I have department code, and I have designation code, and I have location code, and I have the reporting manager code. So these are all the things are there in my employee table. This is the fact table. And now I have one dimension, and I have one dimension. So this is having your department code and department name, right? This is a dimension table, master table. And there is one more table called designation, and one more table called location, and one more table called manager. So here I have this designation code, and I have designation. And similarly here I have location code and location. And here I have manager code and manager. So now if you see this, so this department code is associated with this, right, by default. And this designation code is associated with this, right, and this location code is associated with this, and this manager code is associated with this. So internally when you see this, so there is a table, fact table in the middle, and all your dimensions surrounding it. It looks like a star. So center you have, and all your tables would be surrounding it. So I have a table in the middle, and I have table surrounding it. So this looks like a star. So this is called as star schema. So then what will happen? So the association would be perfect, intact. There will not be any duplication, and the retrieval also very faster. So suppose Sashi Kumar, so employee ID is there, name is there, and date of joining is there. So I belong to apps, application. So apps means it's a CD, department code. So what is the description for these applications? So Sashi Kumar I wanted to display as an applications. So app code is associated. I can bring the application. Now designation, architect, senior architect. So then, so I will be having L7. So then here, what is L7? It's a senior architect. So in my employee table, I have L7. But for that L7, what is the description? That is there in my designation master. So I wanted to display only the designation name, not the designation code. So once these two tables are associated, automatically you can take this designation out easily without any confusion, because it is a one-to-one intact. So if you can able to design your star schema, so it is proven that your data will be intact. There will not be any mistakes. There will not be any duplicacy, latency. The duplicates will not be there. Or the next steps, our wishes are that we have to prepare our star schema, but the tables which are all provided, whatever the possibilities which you could able to break your head, you cannot able to achieve a star schema. No worries. You can at least try for a snowflake. Snowflake means it is like a snow. So I have a table. So I have a table here. So that is been associated with this two table. Now this two table is associating with another two tables, and this two table is associating with another two tables. So it looks like a snowflake, right? So this is associated, and this two is associated, and this two is associated. So like this, it goes. Okay. So this is called your snowflake. So I will show an example. So now that detailed example I will show in tomorrow's class. Now when I bring the table, so how the association happens. So which I explained you. So now basically when you are writing a SQL query, so how, suppose I have two tables, because you know that table, it is a structured data, right? I have some information data in my tables. Now I want to relate, some information will not be here in this table 1, and some information will not be there in this table 2. Or you can say other way, some information I want to pick from the table 1, some information I want to pick from the table 2. How to take? Right, suppose for example, you are an employee, so you have employee code, you have an employee name, and but the thing is that your salary will not be there in the employee table. So your salary is not there in the employee table, that is there in the another table. How you can map? So if suppose Syed is there, his employee code is there, his salary is there in the another table, employee payment, some table is there, in that table it is there. But how this table and this table I can map? How I can pick only this is Syed's salary, how I can pick? Unless otherwise, if I have an association for this employee code of this employee table and the employee code of the employee payments table, then only I can say the employee code of the employee table and employee code of the employee payment table equal to, then where condition I put employee name is equal to Syed, so Syed's salary will come out. So in our SQL script we will be writing this. So suppose for example I have an order. For example, I have order header table is there, and I have order detail table is there. So now in a form, in our application, I am entering. So one screen has come. So there the document is there. Order sequence number 10282 is the order number. So in that order number, who is the customer? You enter the customer code. Automatically the name will be displayed in the application, correct? If you take a drop down, some customer if you put, select, automatically the name will be displayed, his address, everything is coming there. How it is coming? Because the address, everything is from the dimension table. But when you pick the code, automatically how it comes? Because that both are associated. In the SQL terms, that is a relational modeling. But in the business intelligence terms, it is a dimensional modeling. In the SQL terms, how I take? Suppose for example, here I have order number. So order header, right? So order number and order date. And I have customer code. So only this information is there. So here what I have, order number, and I say product number and quantity and unit price, and I say discount. So now I want to take in my script, I want to display order number, comma, order date, comma, quantity and order value. So this 4 is my, I want to display this. So order number I can pick from this, order date I can pick from this, suppose customer name, right? So order date I can pick from this, but quantity it is here, and order val quantity into unit price minus of discount I will get, and customer name again another table, customer table. So here I have cust CD and customer name, right? So in the SQL terms, I wanted to display this in my select query. So what I will do, I will go select this number. So then what I will do, I will give all these tables from order header, comma, order detail, comma, customer, right? These 3 tables I put it. So now how I do map? So now this, for this order number I want to take the quantity. Suppose 10282 is 100, 10283 is 115. Now 10282 should show 100. How it will show? Unless otherwise I go where, suppose if I give this as A, and if I give this as B, and if I give this as C, this is the alias name, right? So now I say A dot order number equal to B dot order number. Then it knows, okay, for this order, this is a quantity. If this both are equivalent, right? And then, so I have for the customer, so I go here, A dot cust CD equal to C dot cust CD. It is not cust CD. If it is a customer CD, no problem. You say there it is a cust CD, here it is a customer CD. So you are saying this in your relational modeling when you are writing a script in your Oracle or the SQL Server. But here what you will do, you don't do anything, just drag and drop. Automatically it is associated. Order ID of your order header and order ID of your returns, it is associated. So it means what? So for which order it gets returns, for that order only it will show. For the suppose 100282 there is a return, sales return is there, it has been rejected by the customer and it is been back to your inventory. Yeah. So for that, suppose 10283 it been accepted, so I don't see any returns for that. So I should not mismatch. So how it is feasible? Unless otherwise, if you are matching your order ID and order ID, so then only it says. So now I have a letter for you. So it is in this it is written 104 door number. If it is written in the letter also 104, in your door also 104. If it matches only, it will reach the right recipient, right? If it is not matching, it will go to the wrong person. How you map? In your relational modeling, you will say this is equal to this. Whether the name is same or not, it is equal to this. Order ID is equal to order ID. But here, it will be automatically associated. How? By the name. Unique name, it is associated. Then you will ask another question. Such if the unique name is not there, how you do? You can do. So it will not be automatically associated. We are not saying always it is automatically associated. You can also do manually. How? So suppose for example, so I have here in this order, suppose I have an employee ID. So then here I have an employee ID, in my dimension it is an MCD. So then I say, boss, this is the employee ID from this table, this EMPCD is from this table, these two are associated. So if you say that, it understands. So in your dimension modeling, it is automatically associated based on your unique name. If it is not, you can manually do. And one additional thing is here in the Tableau is that, only your number whole will give the first preference. So that is the most important thing. Most of the other BI reporting tools, even if date and date is same, it will form an association. Even if string and string is same, it forms an association. But here in Tableau, it will give the first preference to your number whole. ID, only it will give the first preference. Okay. So we'll continue in the tomorrow's class with the rest topics of your data modeling.